Good morning and welcome to TEDxMAIT. So today when we were talking about this topic, intersection of psychology and education, I thought there is no intersection at all. They are two parallel lines, each needs the other. More so education needs psychology because the child's mind is, and the teacher's mind and the parent's mind are all involved in this. So I think there is no intersection, but let's try and see what it gives us. So, so let me start a few lyrics and see how you respond. Give me some. Give me some. Okay. So why is this? Are these lyrics common to all of you? Because in our past experience, that Three Idiots is still there. It's a very strong emotional bond that we have, and it's a part of our education. But somebody's physics lesson is still not there. It's gone the next, after the day after the exam, it's gone. Because it's useless to me, it seems to me. So that strong connection, let's hold that thought and go ahead. So I'll tell you how I am able to speak to you in future, but I'll also tell you how I started my learning and how psychology played a very important role in my learning. So I have not gone to school. The first important aspect is Sir Ken Robinson says, school skill creativity. So although I don't completely agree with that, but what I am saying is, at least my creativity remained because I did not go to school. This is my case. So I was selling idlis on the wayside at age 8, and my learning of psychology, etc., happened with life on that hand cart where I was selling idlis. So my first creative thought that came was that 11 hand carts were selling idli along with chutney and sambar, and mine was the 12th. So I was the junior most, they were my alumni, and I was also selling the same thing because my mother didn't know to do anything else. So I thought, let me also sell idli. So that night, the next day I had to go and start selling idlis, I thought, what is the differentiator that I can create so that I can sell more idlis? So the handcart owner his wife used to make pickles, and he used to go on a cycle and sell. He said, you take 10 bottles of pickle, and every 10 bottles you sell, you will get 10% incentive, which is one bottle of pickle. So that night I thought, I used to love my mother's bindi. So what I did, since there are two characteristics of idli, whether in UK or in India, they are white in color, and second, they are bland in taste. So they need chutney and sambar as accompaniment. So I thought, why not get rid of these two characteristics? My idli becomes special. So what I did, like you have heard Om Shanti Om, Ek Chutki Sindoor Ki Kimat Tum Kya Jano. Similarly, I took one chutki of that pickle and put it at the center of the idli, and the idli became beautiful white with a red spot. Women would like it as a sari. My idli was fantastic. Secondly, my idli was not bland because that spicy achar stuck to the middle of the idli. So my idli started selling best while the other idlis stood where they were. Now, what I am trying to say is the psychology of an unfettered young child, because of lack of conditioning of the past experience, made this difference. And that is my learning. That in our 24 hours of life, each of us has 24, we have three parts. The first part is a school or college. The second part, or workplace. The second part is my family. And the third part is myself. Now let's divide these two parts and what is the role of psychology, because learning happens throughout the day. It's not just in school, college or workplaces. So let's try and figure out what happens when. So the need of the society at that time decided the psychology that you want to put into education. So if you had a requirement for assembly line workers, classical conditioning where everything you keep teaching and the child used to learn and vomit it in the exams was what used to happen earlier. But as the as and similarly, sixth class you enter first class. This is what the rule says. So age specific content was something that was there. Now in that 888, let's first look at the college, school, office 8 hours. So psychology here was that the child should learn specific content and vomit that in the exams for better results. This used to be even the parents who were, but things have changed now. Actually, what is education? It was supposed to prepare you for life. So I learned my preparation of life was how to sell idlis or sell anything. You tell me anything you want to sell, I'll give you a new idea. Because of the lack of give me some sunshine, give me some rain, that baggage is not there. With give me, I'll give you something else. I'll give you salt, I'll give you pepper, I'll not give you sunshine. Okay, so that part of that 8 hours in which we are teaching our children, whether we are teaching them life. Now let's say Newton's law of motion. How do we teach? We write V is equal to U plus AT or S is equal to UT plus half AT square. Now I am saying go to a cricket ground. Psychologically the child loves cricket in India. We know that. That is his dopamine. So I go there. We have two timers. When the ball goes, the timer goes off on, and when the ball pitches, the timer goes off. S we know is the pitch. That is 22 yards. I know. The timer has recorded your T. So you can easily figure out the laws of motion on a cricket field. But we stick to our classrooms. Similarly in colleges. That is the reason why 27% only are found to be employable by the industry. When what we teach in colleges does not become relevant. Same to me, same to you. It's everywhere is the same. Now, I'll give you one classic example. Since I was selling idlis, no school, I gave my entrance exam, 10th, 12th I did privately. And the forward integration was I should go into hotel management. So when I went to hotel management, I had no knowledge of English. So on day one, the teacher asked me, what's your name? I didn't know how to answer. But you can say, how do you speak so fluently English? So that day, when I was getting into the bus and the children were saying, Arey, isko Angrezi nahi aati. One lady, short hair, very fair, in Kolkata, she came up and scolded them, what if he does not know English? And then she came up to me and said, do you want to learn English? I said, yes. She said, come to Park Street every day. I'll teach you English, 5 words a day. You use them in Hindi or English the next day into sentences, which means that you understood the word. And then she used to give me bread and butter. 3 years in Kolkata, my English became so fluent that today I speak in 76 countries. Although it might not be as good as many of you, convent educated, but it is manageable. I can communicate with people in English. So that lady outside of classroom, psychologically, by giving me bread and butter, and those students giving me a negative kick to learn English, challenged me to do what I thought was impossible. So learning is happening outside your 8 hours also. Now let's come to the parents or your 8 hours at home, where learning is imperative. Your mother is your first teacher. Forget about everything else. We talk about Bill Gates, Narayan Murthy, etc. So when you are coming here, you people who are organizing TEDx, and told your mummy, I have to go early today, there is a TED talk happening in our college. So 6:30 I am supposed to go. Mummy will get up at 5 o'clock, prepare your breakfast at 5:30, wake you up at 6 o'clock and put that hot breakfast, and she has been doing for the last 20-21 years, whatever your age. Can we not learn from her, or do we not learn from her the persistence? Maybe in 3 years you would get bored of business management or business studies or physics or chemistry or technology, whatever. But she is not bored giving you the breakfast of the same quality for the last 21 years. Persistence is something that she is teaching at home. So that 8 hours at home, where psychology of your parents is involved, the sacrifice, the persistence, everything is what you are learning from, and which is more important to you than your textbooks at your education or in your workplace. So my college days and my English are dedicated to that Florinda teacher who taught me outside of college how to communicate in English. The last 8 hours, the cyber psychologist has hit the nail. Since the advent of mobile and social media, your last 8 hours of sleep, which is you spend with your own self, has been disturbed. That is where the learning mostly happens in the subconscious. If your brain is at rest, that is when it consolidates what you have learned in the previous 16 hours. By being addicted to your mobile phones in those 8 hours where sleep was supposed to be there, probably you have missed out on consolidation for some time. So this 8 hours or these 8 hours of sleep when your body is supposed to rest, your mind is supposed to subconsciously consolidate, we are not doing it. So that is again where psychology comes into education. Now, I'll go a little faster. Yes. So this is a small exercise. What is this? Whatever comes to your mind. What is this? Don't waste time. The time is limited. Balloons. Very good. Balloons. What else? Two circles, two vertical lines, one horizontal line. Yes. Magnifying glasses. Yes. Get into your lives. Mirrors. Two lollipops hanging upside down. Two fans. Go ahead, start. See, I'll tell you why I am saying this. Our mind is fixated to a particular past experience. So whatever you have seen already, you are able to imagine. Apart from that, nothing else you are imagining. Now let's say I put it upside down. It becomes skates. It becomes two pendulums. It becomes two frying pans. You put it on the ground, it becomes two frying pans, or it can also become, if I put a circle in between, two fried eggs. Okay, so the perspective is that education is not about learning from books. Education is psychology, how much your mind is able to use all the five senses. So when I teach a child from a book an apple, he only sees that apple is red. But when he smells the apple, he eats the apple, he touches the apple, he understands from all the senses what apple is happening, which does not happen in the education system. So we only use one or two indriya or whatever you call senses. So that thing has to be there. Now, when we do this exercise, we come up with around 100 options once the people open their minds, and that is what education is supposed to do. As of now, education without a psychology is only balloons. But education with psychology is all the things that I have talked to you. So now we've cried a lot. I don't like maths, the fear of maths and all those things. We have tried this. But we have also tried that emotionally, if some song like Give Me Some Sunshine connects to me, then math suddenly becomes, because I have seen this happening, the formula of mathematics people were not able to learn, but they were able to learn Give Me Some Sunshine. So remove the lyrics of Give Me Some Sunshine, put in the formula of it, becomes easy to learn. So what we have tried to do in futuristic education is try to understand through neuroplasticity theories and also with little use of AI, the data that we collect from the classroom, the teacher has on the dashboard, that this student, when we put this question or when he is reading this chapter, he is fearing this. So we put a question which is maybe lower in standard so that he does not fear mathematics, and then that fear lets him go off mathematics. So instead of that, we try and grade the questions or content. That is one. Second is we are also looking at putting in AI tutors who understand the student's mentality. This does not mean that the teacher is going, because the emotional content which is there is given by the teacher. The AI only helps the teacher with the data, studying the data, what content to be given and not to be given. I understand that a teacher's emotional content or a mother's emotional content or a father's emotional is irreplaceable. So anything that you say that AI replaces is not going to happen. But that emotional content supplemented with some data gives better results, which we are going to. The second important thing is it is unfair for the kid to say that first period mathematics, switch on, your mathematics brain switch on. Then 40 minutes of mathematics, switch off mathematics. English. They use different parts of the brain. How do you put the child into such an issue that he has to switch on, switch off in 40 minutes? It's not possible. It's not acting. So what we do is transdisciplinary is the future, where there are no subjects, but let's take an example. So if I am teaching a grade 4 student and I understand that they don't want that switch off, switch on kind of a thing, or they love their English teacher, they don't like their maths teacher, then why not we mix all of them? So if I am teaching water, I'll teach volume of water in mathematics, I'll teach a poem on water in English, I'll teach in science evaporation condensation. So the whole concept of water is transdisciplinary and goes in the form of a full concept instead of 40-minute breaks of mathematics, English. So this is future. The third and most important part of our future looks to be that education is going to be modular. It is possible that you have chunks of experiences, life experiences, and all of them put together are your grades. This is a possibility I am just talking. We are working on that. So assessment becomes, as it is in some parts of the world, it is, you can say that difficulty level is decided by the how the student attempts a particular question, or how a student loves the content or does not love it. So this is something that we wish to do in future. So I would completely say that psychology you cannot distinguish from education. It forms the basis of education, and it is as if you are taking the breath away from my body and saying that education can exist without psychology. I think it forms a very important, yes, the forms of psychology might change, and the acceptance of psychology into education, because as of now when you are talking of educational psychology, it is purely social or in the form of a group, whereas now it becomes more personalized. This is what I think is going to happen. Last, I would like to give this anecdote. And very important for all of us, because when psychology comes in, then there is a concept of time which the first speaker was speaking about. And why I am saying important, because split second decisions, when the mind delivers, many a times they are good, many a times they are bad. So we have not practiced split second, it's out of instinct that we do it. So I went to our Prime Minister's, when he was Chief Minister in Gujarat, and February 1st it was, I think. And he had called me because on a stage I had shared an idea.